Hello! In the last video I showed you how to make the first round of your granny square, which is here. As you can see, we've got nice 4 clusters of 3 treble crochets with a corner on each side. So now we're going to make the second round, and to do this with the same colour of wool you have to get to the corner space over here, and to do that I'm going to slip stitch across these stitches at the top until I get to the corner. So it's really easy to do. So basically you put your hook, push it through the top, pull the wool up at the other side, pull it through, and then pull it through again. I ease it through with my finger just because I find that easier. And that's the slip stitch. So carry on doing that until you get to the corner space. There you go. Let's do one more. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to push it through, but it will go. Okay, pull it through. And there we are. So I'm now in my corner space. And to start the second round, I need a bit of height again. So like the first round, I'm going to do 2 chains, and that's going to be the first treble stitch in the first cluster. So start off, it's chain 1, chain 2, then I'm going to do 2 more trebles into this corner space. We're working into the corners now instead of into the centre as we work out. So that's 1 treble and the second treble. Oops. There you go. Let's put that back on. More wool so it's not too tight. Okay, so that's the first cluster you can see there. So now I need to make a corner. So like on the first round, I'm going to do 2 chains. Chain 1, chain 2, and then to work out the cluster on the other side of the corner, I'm going to do 3 more trebles into this corner space here. So yarn over through the corner, pull up the loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's the first treble in the next cluster. I'll repeat that a couple of times. So yarn over through the hole in the corner, yarn over again, pull through 2, pull through 2. Let's do one more. There you go. So that's the second cluster, and there you go, that's the next corner. First corner done of our second round. So now I need to get across so I can start working and doing clusters into this round. But as you can see, we've got from the first round this cluster here. To make sure I can get past that, I'm just going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to start doing 3 treble crochets into this corner space here. So I won't talk you through the treble stitches, I've done that a few times. If you do find yourself getting stuck with the treble stitches, just go back to the first video, watch it again, maybe pause it. That's how I learned how to do crochet, just watching videos, trying again. Okay, so there's my first 3 crochet trebles into that corner. So I need to make a corner for this round, so I'm going to do chain 2, and then I'm going to do 3 more trebles into the same corner space. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there you go, that's the second corner done. Now, as we did in this part here, I'm going to need to do 1 chain so I can make sure I can get across to the next corner. So I'll just do 1 chain here, and then I'm going to repeat what I've just done and do 2 clusters of 3 into this corner. So 3 trebles, a chain 2, 3 trebles. That's the good thing about granny squares. Once you've learnt how to do the stitches, it is really really repetitive. You don't actually have to think about what you're doing so much. The stitches just become second nature, and before you know it, you've whipped up a load and you can turn them all into a blanket or or a bag or a rug or anything like that. So although it may look tricky to start off with, you'll find that you don't really need a pattern once you get going with these basic granny squares, because they are just so easy and they build on each other, and you'll find that they've become quite addictive to make. Okay, so that's the third corner. So I now need to just work 2 more clusters into my final corner. So again, I'll do a chain 1 to go over the one from the first round. Then I'm going to do 3 trebles, 2 chains and 3 trebles into the final corner here. I also find as well, when making granny squares, especially when you're starting off, it's easier to use a thicker weight of wool. So I would always recommend to go for something like an Aran weight, or maybe even a chunky weight when you start, rather than the thinner double knitting. And that's purely because it's just easier to hold on to the work as you start, and it's easier to sort of see the stitches as you're going around. And just make it easy for yourself, really. You know, you don't want to be sort of starting on something and getting really disheartened quite early on, because that'll just put you off. So yeah, I'd always say at least go for an Aran weight wool, and I'm using that and a 4.5mm hook, and I find that works well. Okay, so I've done the last corner here, so now all I need to do is do a chain 1 and then slip stitch into this stitch here, like so, and there you go, and that finishes the second round. So you can see now, again, like the first round, we've got our corner spaces, we've got clusters in each corner. Okay, so that's the second round of the granny square. I'll see you in the next tutorial.